plastic sheet, and it has holes cut in it of different sizes. Our other sheets have ovals, or they're called ellipses of different sizes. And there's like that might be a 30-degree ellipse, and then there's 50-degree ellipses, and then 10-degree ellipses, and so these are plastic sheets that engineers use and architects, and they use their mechanical art pen to make an exact size oval or circle. They've also got, you may have seen things that they call French curves that look kind of like this, and this is for making very smooth curls. And so anyway, the first thing I do to draw Uncle Scrooge was I do, the model sheets say he's 3.5 heads tall, so I'd use I do about 3.5 heads like that. Then I'd have to draw his beak freehand, but then I knew his glasses. When I did his glasses, if his head was turned sideways, that would be a 50-degree ellipse. And I'd get the plastic sheet out and I'd do that. I knew his eye would be, that was about a 30-degree ellipse. Every single time, especially on the close-ups, that's how I draw his eye. I wouldn't do it freehand, I do it with mechanical art engineering tools. I knew when I did his hat, the top of his hat was a 20-degree ellipse. And then I repeat that on the band there. It's also a 20-degree ellipse. When I do his whiskers, I do them freehand, but first with a pencil, I do a circle, a 100-degree, or what would that be? I'd lay it out as a circle, and then I'd match the ends of his whiskers right to the end of that circle. Even doing his collar button, that might be a 50-degree ellipse. Every part of him was, what were the other, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, when I do Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Their eyes were 30-degree ellipses. The pupils were maybe 20-degree ellipses. Then I'd do whatever size, this might have been a 3.5-inch circle, and then I'd make their hat would have to sit on that circle. So maybe that was a 2.5-inch circle. But this is how not to draw Donald Duck. I was actually laying it out like a truss diagram that I do in college. Because I was taught that if it wasn't done this way mechanically, I was used to learning how to design bridges. And if the bridge wasn't designed right, it would collapse and thousands of people would die. So I had to make sure this was all designed just perfectly. Oh, even as I look at this, I think it's even crazier than you think. When I do an eye, if his head was tipped sideways, I draw this part of the eye with a 20-degree ellipse, and then this part with a 30-degree ellipse, because it's supposed to be rounder on one side than the other. I'd actually do this, and of course the eye would be a 30-degree. And that's definitely how not to draw Scrooge McDuck. His belt would be about a 20-degree ellipse. Oh, his spat buttons, those might be 50-degree ellipses on his... But everything in each panel was... and I did... I got lots of paper. Go for it. In the money bin. Then those ellipses, they'd really come into play. If I had Scrooge sitting there, it's about as well as I can draw anymore. But he's sitting there tossing the money up in the air. On a pile of coins, I draw, especially on a close-up, I draw every coin with an individual ellipse. Just, I don't know, because I wanted the fans to see I was working really hard to get this just right. But each coin would be a different size, and each one would be like a 50 degrees and 40 degrees. But I draw every coin, at least on the hill that was the mound of coins close to the reader, with all of these different ellipse sheets. And that looks really bad, I think. It would look better if they were done like the art directors would want me to do. They do it freehand, so it doesn't look as stiff. Obviously, when I draw like an engineer, the characters look stiff. But that's the only way I knew how. They couldn't teach me to do it any other way because I'd never been taught. So they just They just said, well, people seem to like it, so let him do it his way. But don't let anybody else start this kind of stuff.
Well, I think the fact that you got what I think is the biggest problem we've had this year on the comic stage says that people don't agree with your poor assessment of your art.
Well, it's just good that not all the comics are done this way. It's fun if there's one of them that look this strange. I think it'd be these comics wouldn't be as popular all across Europe if they were done by an engineer like this.
Well, might be. I think we're actually getting close to quitting here.